After way too many insurance hoops, my COVID test is done. Kind of felt like a nosebleed and was over really quick. I'm currently doing my laundry in Massapequa, New York, and it's $5 a wash. And that's on the crushing cost of living in New York City. I haven't really taken video of class this week, or me attending class, or me about to attend class. Just because it's been kind of about typical. We're getting to a routine now. But yesterday we did learn how to start a genetic counseling session, like how to make small talk. And so this week we're gonna have our first role play, so I get to pretend to be a genetic counselor for the very first time. Today was a long day of class. It's Wednesday night. I'm currently reviewing these embryology notes, because embryology this morning was like, oof. Like, I'm really glad. I've said this before, but if I could give any advice, like, take University of Cincinnati embryology, like, just do it. Just do it before you get into school, because that's the only reason I'm even, like, staying afloat in our advanced embryology, and it's still difficult. Our professor is a retired pediatric cardiologist, so she went from fertilization to hearts. But we appreciate her perspective as somebody who spent her whole life studying embryology, and specifically heart embryology, so she knows a lot. We just have to get on her level. And I got a job. I got a part-time job doing a canine coach at Dogtopia in Mount Kisco. It will be nice to have some income again, and I get to be with dogs. And this guy gets to go with me to my job. Hey Zach, how's it going?
It's going.
Yeah, we're sitting in the car waiting for our hotel room to get cleaned. We are waiting in the car, and there's our little baby. He's so sweet. I did want to talk about, like, imposter syndrome. I covered this a little bit on my blog, careerofcompassion.com. But it was kind of closer to match day, and I think it's looking a little bit different now that I'm in school. Yesterday I went to pick up my one card, which is like our student ID, and I just didn't know where to park and didn't really know where to go on campus, and I didn't know what any of the buildings were called, and I was really hungry, and I was kind of in a weird mood because school was stressing me out, and I just felt like I didn't belong. Like, I just wanted to go home. But I think that this is a symptom of imposter syndrome, and I did talk about this on the blog as well, but I hate when people say I have imposter syndrome, because it always kind of sounds like a humble brag. Like, oh man, I had no idea that I was good enough to get into school. Like, wow, I'm so much better than I ever knew. That's kind of how I interpreted it. But I think it looks different for different people, and it's not always a humble brag. It's more like just like self-doubt, like a feeling like you only got in because of luck, which I am a big proponent of saying that there is definitely a huge luck component of getting into genetic counseling school. But I think it's important to remember that luck pretty much just determines the timing, that I didn't get in because of luck. I got in when I did because I got lucky when I did. If that makes sense. Does that make sense, Zachary?
No.
And ultimately, the issue isn't that some of us that get in are underqualified or unwanted and got in because of luck. The real thing is that more people are overqualified and extremely wanted than can possibly get in. So that's what I mean when I say that it comes down to luck and being in the right place at the right time. But I am still working on feeling like I belong and that I'm wanted. And I totally understand if other people take the whole time in grad school and beyond to truly accept that we are wanted and that we can do this. Especially after our embryology class this week and after getting into like the nitty details of trying to get into my rotation. Like, it's tough, it's stressful, and we can do it. Anyway, I think that imposter syndrome and stress and moving was getting to me, and to us, to Zach and Buddy too. So we decided to come out here and see this really cool dog park. And it's only about a mile from where we're staying, and it's got like little trails and little hills and quiet play areas and roughhousing play areas, so really fun. There's my Zaki. For our learning moment today, I wanted to change it up and make it kind of psychosocial. I'm walking to Wendy's, so what better time to talk about the psychosocial aspects of genetic counseling. Anyway, this week in Fundamentals of Genetic Counseling, we learned about contracting. And I'd never heard of that in the context of genetic counseling. And what that is basically everything up to setting a goal with your patient. So like asking them their preferred name and making small talk, like confirming why they are coming to genetic counseling. And the reason we do contracting is to get a sense of the mood and affect that our patients are experiencing when they come to us, and to match that and to build the first bit of rapport before we get into any medical stuff. Next week is going to be really exciting, or I guess since it's Sunday, really this week upcoming, because we're finally going to be moving into our apartment that we've waited so long and hard for.
And then
So I'll catch you then with a
turn right.
Yonkers studio apartment tour.